Sayle's viewers for watching his commercials, putting up with all that stuff,
Woohoo.
putting up with his very very long PvT games
Woohoo.
at crucial moments. Nei, is it Nei? NEI, a person called NEI. Shotcoder, i.e. Noise, Prowler, Nabopoulos, Ruskig, Trap, and of course Altitude, after whom the tournament is named, and you should go and check them out. If you go to altitudeisl.net, you can be linked straight there, and I think you're about to see a commercial which supports them and tells you just how great they are.
That is indeed correct. So let's go to that, and then we can go into game number 1. We are going to be starting with the tiebreakers, followed by the first semifinal match, Dodie versus Semi. Stay tuned. Alright, and we are back, and I am in the game. Elegant, if you would like to join. It's my standard fish name thing.
Okay, I cannot remember the password. Just Skype
it's
it
just
to
one.
me. So that
This is one.
Oh, one. Okay, awesome. We're about to probably get a troll dropping in. That's fine.
That's alright. I'm testing my reaction time here because I've been playing a lot of Diablo 3, so I'm just waiting for him to jump in here and just boom, my left click action is gonna hit him, man. I'm telling you that Demon Hunter play in D3 seriously trains your mouse accuracy skills.
You know, I haven't been near Diablo 3 yet. I might go for it at some point, but I'm still on the fence.
Dude, it's fun, man. It's fun. It's just like you just go in, you just kill a lot of monsters. You don't even think about it. It's awesome. It's awesome.
It kind of goes against my give Blizzard no money policy, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I cave.
Nice. Anyway, yeah, let us go into game number 1 here. This is going to be, forgot. It's going to be Project versus Michael, I believe. Yes, it's going to be Project versus Michael on match point.
Who could forget that?
Alright.
We are in. This is about to get real. We are about to see Project and Michael, two big hitters in the current day foreign scene. And I'm sure you know them both, so I'll get on with introducing them right now. In the bottom left hand corner, spawning in as the white Terran, we have ISL3 Project. And in the top right hand corner, spawning in as the purple Zerg, we have ISL3 Michael, Cheese King himself. Now, I expect these to be pretty decent games. I expect to see Michael trying to kill Project and Project doing his best to try not to be killed and to make it into the mid game.
Wow, those are some pretty daring predictions, Elegant. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no.
We're gonna have to see. Anyway, yeah, yeah, pretty crazy semifinal match from Michael. He played against Semi, who of course we're gonna be watching later today. Play against Dodie. Michael barely lost that one. It was I think 3-4. It was a very close series. And all the other semifinal matches were 4-0 as far as I'm aware. So yeah, Michael's the only one who managed to give a good match to Semi. Project unfortunately got taken out 4-0 by Bibian, who will be playing tomorrow against Ziki in the other semifinal.
Yep.
So that should be very exciting. In the meantime, looks like we have a bit of a barracks wall, and this is wait a minute. Is this gonna be a 10-fact build? This is looking suspiciously like a 10-fact because he does not have a supply depot yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. I can't imagine what else it is at this point. Just, I'm not going to call it too early, but yeah, it looks like it. I mean, look at the SCV production. It's nothing normal, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I think
he's going to try and Michael.
Now the thing is, he might try and proxy it here at the the 12 and then float it into the main or something. But he's got to be a little bit careful because the second Overlord is going out there, and if that gets spotted, Michael's going to be able to easily shut it down. Meanwhile, Michael has just gone for a very standard 12 hatch here. No cheese from the Cheese King, and ooh, barely going to sneak past his Overlord. And yes, indeed, he is going to be proxying it up here. I would imagine he's just going to float it across. And if Michael, Michael, if he's not aware of this, then he could be in a big trouble here. I actually saw Project use this very successfully against somebody on Bloody Ridge, I think. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Bakryu, actually. I don't remember. Anyway. It is going to be
I don't remember.
A gas off just the 2 hatches, though, so Michael is planning a 2-hatch build.
Yeah, and this should actually work out maybe okay for him, because the Overlord is about to kind of float over in a general project-wise direction. I mean, he probably won't be getting all the way into the base, given that the first Marine is about to pop out. So yeah, he's going to be in the dark for quite some time, and as you correctly predicted, that Overlord has floated straight over to the middle of the map from his base, that second Overlord, and bypassed that factory straight away. So he does run the risk of being caught pretty off guard here, but now it's just a case of will it be a build order defeat, or will he pick something that gets that defense up in good time. But yeah, we're still going to have to see that. And the first Vulture is now in production. Looking at things, the hatchery at the Natural has just finished, and no sign of really anything forthcoming right now from Michael. He's got 2 Lings on the way, but as we all know, that is not going to be enough by the time that first Vulture and then subsequently the second Vulture arrives at his base.
So interestingly, he decided to just make Vultures there instead of lifting into the main, which I think is actually a fine choice anyway, because as we can see, the Sunken. Well, actually, the Sunken, is it going to be in time? Michael seems to be quite suspicious here to be building that early of a Sunken. Like, he just now sees the gas. But this is some kind of serious game sense going on from Michael. The Cheese King, he can just smell the cheese in the game. You do not cheese the Cheese King. Unfortunately, I think he's dead anyway. I don't see what he's going to be able to do against this Vulture. Is he getting Ling Speed right now? He's just started his Ling Speed. He's going to take so much damage. I think, yeah, Michael is just going to evacuate to his Natural. He knows he just can't hold on to his main. He's going to, because the Natural, now that I think about it, I really like this Sunken placement, because look at this. He didn't put the Sunken too far out. He left the Sunken right next to the hatchery, so it kind of covers the mineral line. So now he can actually just keep mining from his Natural and be fine. And this Zergling actually is going to spot the factory floating into his base, but I'm sure he already knew what was going on, although maybe not the exact location of the proxy. In the
no
meantime,
doubt. I mean, yeah,
go ahead.
I think that having seen that, having no scout coming into his base, I think that's what would have actually put him onto the scent in the first place of some kind of cheese coming his way. But yeah, there's no doubt that now he knows exactly what's going on, so he's going to see that factory, but shouldn't have too much of a bearing on the game. He's going to be able to get in there, might be able to surround the first Vulture as it comes out of this factory right here, if he plays it correctly. It looks like he will be able to surround that. Oh! But doing the factory lift, Project using his smarts, and they are many, in order to circumvent that rather unfortunate circumstance. The Vulture's still darting around though, so it's going to be able to take out all these Lings. The drones are back mining in the main, but I think their time is going to be very, very limited. But some Lings come in and they are able to save the day, taking down that many killed Vulture, a veteran indeed, and the factory now lifts off and is going to head on out back where it should be. Somewhere a little bit closer to the Terra main. Yeah,
Speed actually just finished for the Lings as well, and Speed Lings are pretty decent against slow Vultures. I mean, you can kind of market the Vulture, but it's very, very difficult. The Hydra Dome was also finished anyway, so we could have made a few Hydras. Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that Project lost the first Vulture to the slow Lings. I didn't quite see how that happened, but I guess he just wasn't paying attention for a second, and just accidentally got it trapped or something. In the meantime, looks like he's adding on a bunch of barracks, so not thinking about expanding, just going to keep up this one-base play here. Got an Academy on the way as well, possibly just going to go for a huge one-base Medic Marine all-in. I think it's kind of what he has to do at this point, because I mean, he cut so much economy to get out that 10 fact, and honestly, he didn't do that much damage. He killed a couple of drones, he denied a lot of mining time, forced a few Lings here and there, but I mean, Michael's drone saturation is really not too bad. And, actually, if you compare it to Project, it's actually quite good. Project's saturation, it's like 1.5 per patch, maybe. We actually saw him queuing up a lot of SCVs earlier when the Vulture was in the base. That's actually fairly normal. A lot of people are like, oh, don't queue units because that's bad macro. But when you have to, really pay attention to your Vulture micro like that, it's okay to queue up a few units. I mean, even Nada does that.
It makes far more sense than missing SCVs. You can't be missing SCVs when your economy's in that kind of state. It's kind of paid off for him. I mean, look at his saturation now. He's going well with that off one base at the very least. Mining decently, and he's going to be able to get a fairly reasonable kind of one base push out here. I mean, it's a kind of a one-shot thing. We do already have Hydrolist out for Michael, of course, if only in defense. But it looks like, yeah, he's going to go on. He's going to go on up to Mutas. It's not going to go straight for Lurkers. But yeah, it's all about that timing of that push. Can it come out before Mutas hit, and can it obtain some level of secrecy? Although I'd imagine that the Overlord hovering over the natural expansion is going to keep him really pretty well clued up.
And that is a lot of medics. 6 medics already out. There's only 5 Marines that I can see. So each one of those Marines gets their own personal medic, which is pretty awesome there. But no, I think he made them the medics first just so they can start saving up their energy. And then he's going to start spamming his Marines and maybe add on a couple of firebats as well. One interesting thing to note, by the way, about the format is that these are all best of 1 games. So it's a round robin, but you play just a best of 1 against everybody in the group. So like the 5th through 8th place finishers. So doing these kinds of cheesy strategies can definitely work out for you. It's not like you have to play a full best of 3 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean it really works for cheesy strategies because it doesn't matter if the player after the game is like, ever do that again and they'll win. It doesn't matter. The best of 1 is done, is over. The Lings do scout the factory coming down at 12 o'clock and building up a machine shop, and that gets got rid of quite efficiently. The Lings are going to run in over to Project's main, going to be seen off relatively fast by the Marine medic push, which is now on the way. It's going to take a little while for it to get across the map. Contrary to what you might imagine just looking at it, it does take a little bit of time to kind of circumvent your way all the way over to the opponent on match point. So this push is going to be just a little bit slow. He does have all of the upgrades ready, so this push is ready to go, and right now Michael starting to make up 1 extra sunken colony, not going to go up to the standard 3. He must have good confidence in his Mutas right now, and he has a decent count of them, but they seem to be flying around to try and get around behind the Marine force, possibly to cut off any reinforcements. Yeah,
and he might be able to catch a few of these free Marines here. 6 Marines, no medic support. Oh man, it's going to be so close. Will the Marines actually escape? Does Michael see them? Michael does see them, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's going to go after them, and these Marines are just going to be 3 kills, although, whoa, almost getting a Mutalist here. Wow, Project, nice target firing there. Actually manages to snipe a single Muta for those Marines. I think, he gets a second Muta there. Wow, Michael doing a bit of miss micro, I think. Meanwhile, the attack is going in at the front. Mutas, Lings, Hydras coming out. There's only 2 sunks, and actually it looks like this attack might work here. Michael got a little bit too cocky there, maybe. Didn't build enough sunkens, but is it going to be enough? The Mutas are coming home now. He's going to have to do some amazing Muta micro to hold this off. There's so many medics here. There's literally 1 medic healing every single Marine, and Project doing some sick target firing on these Mutas. I think Michael might be done here. There's 3 Marines left, 2 Marines left. No, maybe not. Maybe Michael has held. There's 6 medics for 2 Marines. Oh no, it's not enough. It's not enough. It was so close, but Michael barely holds. However, there's a lot more Marines coming out right now. Should save those medics. Well, I guess you can't anymore.
Yeah. No, they were absolutely finished once the Marines went down. That was seriously close stuff. I question the decision by Michael to not build 3 sunken colonies if he knew that he was then going to go off and try and cut off reinforcements or harass SCV lines or whatever he was going to do. He should have thrown down 3 sunkens. I think that would have worked out maybe a little bit cheaper for him and a little bit safer rather than that emergency dash back with the Mutas, whereas he might even have been off harassing had he had 1 or 2 extra sunkens in order to make sure he was completely safe. And now the Mutas coming over to Project's main. There is a decent Marine force waiting to greet them, and they might fly over the Marines right here. Project doesn't quite stim in time, misses that very, very small window of opportunity, and now the Mutas are having a go at that supply depot at the front, and they're going to be able to start darting in with the Marines. You better keep them in the open ground to make sure it doesn't get caught next to a cliff. They stim and get a good few hits off on one of the Mutas, and at the top actually producing more vultures out of that factory. He's being very, very persistent with that factory. He really wants to make it happen. And 2 vultures ready and waiting. Curious to see what they're going to do. The Mutas have found a gap as well. They're going into the back, but this could get them very, very badly caught. Taking so many hits from the Marines, and 2 Mutalists go down right there in what was probably not an entirely efficient engagement for Michael.
And Project is saving up all these vultures here. I guess he's just going to wait for that vulture speed to finish and run them all to the main. Might want to wait until Michael's actually going and doing Muta harass to do that, because then he'll be distracted and potentially lose a lot more. Oh, drones! Did he see it? I think he saw it, barely saw it with that Muta. It's got a bit of a lucky timing there with that Muta. That reinforcing Muta came out and he saw the tail end of the vultures, but it looks like where the vultures going? Oh, they're going to get completely intercepted here. Michael, meanwhile, he's got his lurkers on the way. He's got a drone down at the bottom right to take that expansion. It looks like he actually sent 2 drones and forgot 1. Bit of a funny mistake there, but looks like the 2 speed vultures. Oh, they might actually be able to at least delay this third base a little while longer, but he is going to lose his factory now to these Mutilas. Michael's decided, oh no, the hatchery does barely get down in time. He's going to, oh no, he tried to snipe the other drone as well, but didn't get that one either, so the vulture's really not paying off for Project.
That hatchery got down just in decent enough time. Now the Mutila's going to take care of the factory at 12 o'clock. I mean, that's going to be that for the factory, and probably all the better that Project doesn't spend any more cash. I'm trying to make that work for him, because it's really been a bit of a misstep this game. Hasn't worked out nearly how he would want it to. Producing more Hydras now, so I guess he's going to be moving on to Lurkers quite soon, or maybe this is just in an effort to... Oh no, he has got Lurkers happening. Okay, in the middle of the map he has got Lurkers on the way now, and still on 1 base. Project has his first science vessel out, so now's the time when he can at least safely go and hold his natural, maybe get a little bit further, but I'm not too sure about that, given that he still hasn't got a huge marine force. About 2 control groups, not bad, but probably not enough to be doing any serious damage at this point. Maybe a little bit of brass in third base would be possible, but either way he's going to get his natural up quite soon with the command center on the way, and Tech is staying pretty much in the same place for Michael for now. He's just going to work on that third base and try and get it as secure as possible.
I do want to note something that we didn't really talk about. Michael before had a really nice ling spread all around Project's base. If you notice on the minimap, he just had 1 ling in all the key positions to look for dropships. And basically just to look for dropships moving out of the main. But hold on, there's gonna go for a bomb here! Oh, the science vessel lives with 3 HP. Wow, Michael, oh, he might get it still! Oh! Project leaving his vessel out in front. I don't know what he was thinking there. Man, he got super lucky with that vessel, keeping it alive, not getting it bombed, and then he's just like, well, you know what, I feel bad, you should actually have this, so he just gave it back to him.
The vessel had a death wish, a secret death wish. And it looks like Michael fancies himself to move forward a little bit here, and I think I fancy that opportunity too. Here he goes, the Lurks are going to burrow down. Will Project be able to spread in time, or will he get taken out? So many Marines run the risk of getting demolished. He manages to run away quite quickly, but did he lose another science vessel? I think he did.
Yep.
I believe I heard one go down. I don't know, but I thought I heard the science vessel die, and there's another one coming out.
I think another one did die, yep, you're right.
Yeah, another one coming out of the starport now, so he still has a science vessel, but he could have 3 science vessels at this point, so it could be looking a lot better for him. A couple of straggling Marines getting taken out right there, and the Lurkers are going to push on. One of them is going to get taken out, maybe. No, the Marines don't quite target for long enough. 12 HP left on that when he goes back for it, and as a result throws away a bunch of Marines, and he is pushed right down to the wire right now, defending all the way back in his natural, managing to snipe off that Lurker somehow, but the Lurkers are coming in once again. There may be too many of them. The Mutas are just tanking damage at this point. The Marines going back and back and back, and these Lurkers have leapfrogged their way all the way to the front of the natural, and just going to set up camp there while Michael works on his tech and possibly a 4th base soon as well.
It's interesting because there's no sign of a Queen's Nest yet, so it looks like Michael actually just wants to end the game right here, just make a ton of Lurkers and go for the kill. I think he actually has enough to go and break Project's natural right now. He just doesn't realize it. Just playing it a little bit safe here. Doesn't want to throw the game away in a silly fashion, but I mean, there's really nothing that Project can do. And it looks like, yep, now going in with a mass Lurker force. There's 2 bunkers there, but I mean, really, what are you going to do against 12 Lurkers? Now the Lurkers is running into the natural. Project is looking completely dead here. Oh god. Oh,
I don't really feel like there's any... Yeah, no real way back into this game. I mean, one Lurker gets sniped off, but it doesn't matter because he's got like 10 more. A couple of science vessels start now, so that's good on the upside, but now all the SCVs going down. Yeah, Project really looking like he's on his last legs. Michael making up a decent number of units. He's got a few waiting on his high ground to just head on over there, making some more Lurkers. And this is just going to be the finishing blow, really. Unless that's a magic dropship that Project has waiting around in his main, I don't see too much of a way out of this for him.
Yeah, I mean, Michael now adding on a Queen's Nest going up to Hive, but I mean, it's kind of just academic at this point. It doesn't really matter what he does. You know, we can just go Mass Guardian or whatever and we'll just win the game. Project doing some nice, fancy little Marine Micro there, but, you know, it looks cool, but it's not going to win him the game. Oh, man, the SCVs. Oh, God. Oh, that bunker. Oh, SCVs. You force olds. And look at this, they're just running from Lurkers into more Lurkers.
Yeah, rock in a hard place.
A Lurker spine and another Lurker spine.
Yeah, worse than a rock and a hard. I'd take a rock in a hard place any day over that.
Oh no, the dropship! No! Oh, he shot his own Overlord! Michael attacked his own Overlord with the Scourge! The dropship flew right by and he killed his own Overlord! What the hell?
What are the chances of that happening? I've never seen that happen before.
I have never in my life seen that.
This time. wow, but damage done. I mean, the Marines are in his third base now. I wouldn't imagine they'll do like devastating damage or anything, but they're going to be able to take out a couple of lurkers, maybe a drone or two. Going to position themselves behind the mineral lines and try and do something fancy. Just sniping out drones and somehow kind of making that pay a little bit, whereas it shouldn't have even made it that far, and he's continuing to produce science vessels now, so no massive dropship play. But I mean, he has to get back out to his natural. He's mining off one base, and that base is starting to look not so good. There's very few mineral patches, although he definitely doesn't have the SCVs to saturate two bases anyway, but nonetheless, he should certainly be trying to do so. Trying to irradiate his way out of a bad situation. That's going to be slow progress.
Man, I am just cracking up at that. That is just so awesome. Just this two, because I was so confused, right? Because the Scourge didn't actually hit at the same time. So so the Scourge actually hit when the dropship was right like on top of the Overlord, and then it didn't take any damage. I was like, wait, what just happened? Like, how did that dropship not actually take damage? And then the second Scourge hits and the Overlord blows up, and I'm like, oh my god, that's what just happened. Oh, Michael, Michael's in the chat, isn't he? We should do a winner's interview with Michael after this. You know how they do it in Pro League? Do the winner's interview like right after the game? They do the instant replay. I want to do an instant replay of that moment and just ask Michael, how were you feeling when you shot your own Overlord instead of the dropship?
Yeah. I think he was probably sitting there thinking, ah, shit, hope nobody notices that. Little did he know.
He was relying on like me being a bad observer as usual and just missing the drop. And he was thinking like, oh, it'll be fine. No one's going to see this ever because Sayle's not going to catch it. And then it just happens that I get lucky and I see it. Boom.
Yeah, now shuttling Marines out of the base. Almost caught by a couple of skids right now. The Marines are landed down, so the dropship should be safe. And this is leading to a very, very nasty situation for our Marines right here. They're running the risk of getting so horribly surrounded. In they go. The Lings are just going to tear them to shreds, getting a complete surround there. The dropship just manages to save like a handful of them. But they're going to be seriously mentally scarred after what they've experienced down there on the ground. And background to the natural he goes to refortify that position, and yeah, Michael looking pretty dominant. And Project, what can he do?
Dude, that was like in the Titanic. Look, he saved all the medics and left all the Marines. You know, women and children first. It's terrible, man. It's terrible. That's discrimination. That is gender discrimination right there. I'm gonna complain. Oh my god, that dropship is right next to Scourge again. But fortunately, Project's dropship seems to be immune to Scourge, although unfortunately for him, he's just losing his main base now.
Yeah, the main base is finished. The Scourge do finally land on the dropship. There's a clump of medics standing there, and 3 Marines heading down to the bottom right-hand corner. And actually, it's kind of funny, there's nothing to meet them, so they might actually be able to do some halfway decent damage right there. But the main base is probably going to be a little bit screwed for Project. I mean, he's managing to irradiate 1 or 2 lurkers out, so not quite as strong as they otherwise would be, but he's being forced backwards and backwards into tighter corners. Bottom right-hand base manages to clear up those 3 Marines. And Project, what have you got? Have you got a master touch for us?
Well, whatever the case may be, he's got about 300, 400 minerals left to mine, and then he's going to be completely broke. So 400 minerals in the bank, 400 to mine, and then that's it. He's not going to have any more money. Meanwhile, Michael's happily mining away on 4 bases. He's got all his tech. He's got everything. This is just some good old GG timing, and there it is, GG from Project. Michael taking it down, and is going to take 1 game in this round robin tiebreaker. Or is it a tiebreaker? I think wait. Yeah,
no,
it's a tiebreaker. It says tiebreaker in the thread, even though it's not actually like a tie.
A tie as such.
But
yeah,
it does say tiebreaker.
That's alright.
Alright, that's fine. That's cool.
We'll call it that.
Alright, sweet. So let's go on to the next game that we have, which is gonna be. Actually, we can choose. Actually, wait. What's the actual order I'm supposed to do these in? I don't know. All right, I think we'll do TechnicS versus Michael next. We'll do TechnicS versus Michael, and then we'll have Project versus SneazeL last. All right, sweet. So these games are all best of 1 once again. So yeah, I'm just gonna go on to the next match. And then we'll have 1 more match after this one for the tiebreakers, and then after that we will go on to the semifinals between Dodie and Semi. It's going to be a best of 7 PvP, and you just happen to have 2 Protoss commentators, so you're in luck, guys. You're in luck.
That is a big win for the viewers and us. Let's be honest, because it just makes our lives so much easier. And yeah, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to try and cast the ZVZ.
Alright, so let us go into the game. It's going to be on Circuit Breakers.
Alright, so here it is. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner as the yellow Zerg, we have ISL3 TechnicS, whom I'm a little bit surprised to be seeing here. I thought we'd be seeing him in the semi-finals, but I guess it wasn't to be. He was looking so strong previously, but no doubt he was outdone. And in the top left-hand corner, spawning in as the white Zerg, we have ISL3 Michael, who was almost the victim of a terrible cheese last game, but managed to hold fast and dealt with everything Project had to throw at him in this round robin. So expect to see more cheese coming up. This is of course a ZVZ, so pretty much anything goes, apart from 4-pool.
Apparently TechnicS' drones are mining very slowly. I don't know what that means. Did we inadvertently give them a last shadow map or something, and like TechnicS' drones just have weird stats? I hope not. I hope not. But yeah, like you were saying about TechnicS,
so
I mean, it's obviously. Oh, actually, we're lagging a little bit. But yeah, TechnicS is a very strong player. But unfortunately for him, he happened to hit Zeke in the round of 8, so that was not really conducive to his ISL3 health. Although, I mean, you know, he actually, prior to that, I think he had like an even or actually a winning record against Zeke in like the Filators and whatever other statistics that Hacklebeast gets. But yeah, apparently he had a winning record. So, you know, he had a shot, but apparently just wasn't able to do it on the day. In the meantime, we do have vertical positions, so both players are going to scout each other first with their overlords. And that's going to prevent any kind of silly, you know, scouting advantage / build order losses. In the meantime, we do have a 12 pool here from Michael, and a 12 gas 11 pool from TechnicS. Interesting build from him.
Yeah, interesting if you know what's going on.
Right. Oh, Hackleby says TechnicS was 3 and 4 against Zeke, so about even. It's pretty good.
Wow. Yeah, that is pretty good. That's better than most people can ever hope to achieve. So yeah, you can see why I thought TechnicS was pretty cool and pretty good to go further. But yeah, meeting Zeke, excuse me, is usually a little bit of a disaster. And he's about to throw down the hatchery as well. So Michael's gonna get a little bit of an expansion on, and he should be in a decent position to defend against anything that TechnicS has coming at him. I mean, we'll see how he deals with that early expansion, but I think he should be good for the time being.
This is very interesting. So Michael's doing the very standard 12-1 to expand, very safe stuff. And TechnicS, having gone for that early gas, is actually following up with an in-base hatchery here. Very interesting stuff. So, you know, he's definitely going to have to do some serious damage with his early Mutalisks. He has opted, of course, for the lair first. Going to have that nice extra amount of gas over Michael, of course, having taken the gas quite a bit earlier. But you know, with that hatchery in his main, he's obviously not going to have a second gas for quite a while here, so he's going to have to try and punish this expansion of Michael. And the thing is, due to the like the spawn locations, it shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, obviously the natural is kind of facing TechnicS' base here, so he can kind of engage pretty quickly. Meanwhile, the first lings are out on the map for both players. Just 2 lings for TechnicS against the 4 lings of Michael here. The TechnicS should have a couple more in production, I would guess. Yeah, it looks like he does. So he'll be fine.
Yeah, of course, the advantage of that in-base hatchery is he can now afford to just simply hold a ramp, which makes life just so much easier rather than running the risk of getting surrounded. As long as he holds a decent line and has a good concave ready and waiting, he should just be ready in time. Will he take up a decent position? There might be a little bit of a gap on the left, and TechnicS, yeah, he's going to be alright. Michael thought so too for just a second there, but now it's going to be made firm with a few extra links coming in too. And so yeah, for now TechnicS is going to be alright, but as you said, he's going to have to make the early Mutalisks really pay off, because the way this works out is at first it's not too much of a deficit, that only having 1 gas, but it soon starts to snowball and it can soon get out of control in terms of the Mutalisk count.
The interesting thing is, even though TechnicS' lair was quite a bit earlier, the Spire timing is almost identical, and meanwhile TechnicS actually trying to be fancy with his links and break down the ramp. I don't think that's a good idea. Michael getting a way better arc here and just takes down all of TechnicS' lings, and now, well, it looks like he's got more lings coming out, but he's going to let some lings into his base to see exactly what's going on here. Although he, I mean, obviously already had the Overlord, but could have perhaps run him around a little bit. Unfortunately for him, he actually didn't have speed. Because he actually just, he's actually just skipped speed entirely, it looks like. Yeah. Whereas TechnicS has already got his speed finished, so Michael's going to have to be very careful here, play a little bit defensively, and indeed he is going to get a sunken colony at his natural. I like his positioning, it's like right by the ramp. This is partly helped by how the natural is on this map, where you can kind of have that sunken protecting your natural mineral line and the ramp at the same time. He's also just pulled a couple of drones here to help as well, because the sunken's not quite going to be done in time. Meanwhile, TechnicS, I think, is just going to try and run in here, maybe snipe a drone or two. Yep, he's going to get one drone and just back off. We're going to grab a free Zergling as well. He hasn't lost a Zergling yet. Oh, he's even going to run around. Wow, nice run around from TechnicS. Getting into the main base, 4 speedings in the main. Michael has no speed on his lings. He could definitely lose a couple of drones here.
Yeah, which would be really, really crucial. I mean, it'd be kind of important actually for TechnicS to try and do some damage, because as we can see, he's invested a lot of extra money in lings, or at least a little bit, which could have been drones, and that's important to remember every step of the way. Spire has already popped significantly earlier for TechnicS, but Michael's is now up, so he should be able to start Mutalisks production momentarily. He's got only 3 Mutalisks on the way. 2 of those eggs are being made into lings, and one of them is being made into an Overlord, managing to snipe out one drone as well. It looks like TechnicS might have Mutalisks much earlier, and in a superior number to Michael's, at least for a little bit, so he should try and take advantage of that timing window, and this could work out pretty nicely for him. He's still in the main with his lings as well, doing decent damage, and ling speed really counts for a lot in these situations.
The weird thing was, though, when TechnicS' Spire finished, he made 3 Mutalisks and 2 drones. And I'm just like, whoa, seriously? So, right now he's got 4 Mutas, it looks like, compared to the... I think there's about 3 or 4 for Michael as well. Like, he doesn't actually have an air advantage. Let's see, he's got 200 gas banked. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Michael's natural gas is already up. TechnicS has a really narrow window now to press his gas advantage, because in a couple of minutes, it's going to be Michael as like the gas advantage and the base advantage, and you know, everything else is basically going to be equal. You know, same amount of larva and everything. So, TechnicS not in the best position now, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, he would have had a decent window if he hadn't... Why did he make drones as soon as his spy popped? That's really very weird to do, because he's already perfectly well saturated. Oh, Scourge in the middle. I don't know if they hit.
I think one of them hit.
Trying to look now. Okay, one of them hit. Yeah, he would have had a nice window with a decent air superiority if he hadn't have started bursting out drones as soon as the spire finished, which is a weird decision. Maybe he was a bit short on gas, I don't know. He is managing to get 1 Overlord maybe over the natural. 2 Scourge lands directly on Michael's Mutas, and they both think they can stand and fight. Who will take this one? 2 Scourge land into the Mutas of TechnicS. It's going to be a second before we figure out exactly what's happening. It looks like TechnicS is going to take the battle just, but Michael with his reinforcements pulling in just to save the day. 2 Scourge coming into Michael's natural. Will they be able to land? It looks like they will. One of them lands, and the second one lands as well.
So many lings running into TechnicS' main. There's Zerglings in the main. TechnicS made a few Zerglings of his own, but Michael has so many more lings here. Oh man, TechnicS gonna lose a lot of drones. There's 1 Mutalisk overhead. Michael, I think, should be focusing down the drones. Oh no, 3 Zerglings remaining. 1 drone goes down. 2 drones go down, and not a 3rd drone, but wow, that could have done a lot more damage. Michael just doesn't have speed on his lings. I think if he had speed, he would have done at least one or 2 more drone kills.
Yeah,
but in the meantime...
meanwhile, yeah, TechnicS managed to get a couple of nice Scourge hits at Michael's natural, so Michael's Mutas are really looking pretty heavily damaged, so they're going to get taken out very quickly in any kind of Muta engagement. A couple of Scourge heading over the middle as well, landing on Overlord, so this leaves TechnicS still not supply block, because he's lost actually a fair amount of stuff recently, and now he's getting his natural expansion up too. So if he can actually hold this, he's going to be in a good position, but I don't know if he really can, because Michael should have superior production for just a second anyway. TechnicS running the risk of getting scourged out here with his 2 Mutalisks. Flying in a little bit of dangerous position, and Michael might actually be able to catch him out, but no, turning away at the last second. Trying to do some fancy micro and keep those Mutas alive for just a little bit, and a flight of Scourge coming in now as well. They could land on these Mutalisks. Michael could lose so much, and the Scourge just posturing around, and they do manage to scout those Mutalisks heading out to the base at the very least, so that gives TechnicS decent time to get back and defend. Oh, but there are a couple of drones rallied out. They're not going to get taken down. The Scourge are making it safe and taking out one of Michael's Mutalisks as well.
Man, there was Scourge chasing Mutas from both players, and whoa, Michael taking another hit there. I mean, man, the Muta vs Scourge micro in this game has been a little bit lacking. I mean, if you know, if you're both taking equal numbers of hits, I guess it's fine. These just like both go Scourge Ling.
Yeah, it's a gentleman's agreement.
Yeah. Dude, I love Scourge Ling and ZVZ because my Muta micro is atrocious. I'm just like, oh, better make some Scourge. Better A-move those Scourge. Although, now the thing is, though, look at this. TechnicS' natural is up now, so he's got 3 hatcheries and both gases to match Michael's gases. Now, Michael's second gas was up a little bit longer.
Yeah, and there's an idle drone. Which is dead now.
That's what you get for being idle. You get executed.
Did you see those Mutalist shots? They shot off on pretty much thin air. Looks like he may take quite a few Scourge hits though. Michael is in a lot of trouble with his Mutalists, losing 2 Mutalists to those Scourge hits. And TechnicS is going for a run by into the mid as well. He's going to get maybe 4 or 5 Lings all the way in. This last sunken hit misses, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of drones going down right here for Michael, who's going into TechnicS natural as well. But the drones are falling rapidly. He needs to do uncountable damage to the Mutalists at the other end of things, taking out 2 or 3 more drones. And now the main of TechnicS looking very, very exposed. Will he be able to get back in time to actually mitigate this damage, or will it be pretty much an even trade? All the drones for all the drones. There is space for Michael to run away to. And meanwhile, so many drones going down in TechnicS main. My goodness, both of these players have nothing left in terms of economy. A few nice Scourge landing, and this is pretty much going to be a stand and fight situation. Michael decides to hold his ground, and TechnicS will clean up his Mutalist count and will probably go and try and take care of the drones, but a few extra Mutalists have been hatched. Michael actually might have this, just he has a few Mutalists remaining, whereas TechnicS really has very little. A couple more Scourge out now though, so if there is good micro coming in here from Michael, he could be able to take this.
And man, looks like Michael pulled some drones to block a second Zergling run by, and just lost a drone in the meantime. And oh, it looks like shot the extractor possibly by mistake, but he does Michael down that last Scourge here. Does TechnicS have any more Scourge here? TechnicS, does he have anything? He's got 2 Mutas in the main base, but he's losing a couple more drones here at the natural. This is just such a scrappy game here. I don't know if Michael should really commit here. I don't think he should. Oh man, I think it's 2 Mutas on 2, but TechnicS has a defender's advantage, and oh man, another pair of Scourge come up. I think TechnicS made a mistake there. He could have split those, but more Scourge coming in from Michael as well. Both players just taking out everything. Michael has only 1 Muta. You can't really micro that. No, he keeps 1 Muta alive. He's taking out more drones here. Oh my goodness, TechnicS is down to 9 supply. Michael is at 13 supply. Neither player. Oh man, there's 1 Zergling. Oh no, no. Okay, looks like. Wait, actually, that 1 Zergling in the main, it might actually kill the Spire. That 1 Zergling might kill Michael's Spire here if he's not paying attention. Michael, he's got a drone. Oh, he's gonna lose a drone to it, and now his own Mutas are running away from Scourge here. 15 supply against 10 supply right now. What a game. Oh, run! Oh, he keeps it alive with his own Scourge hitting TechnicS' Scourge, and that's going to keep his Spire alive, I think. Look at that, the Spire is down to 171 HP.
Huh. Yeah, seriously.
What a badass Zergling.
I mean, if he lost that Spire, then that could have been a way back in for TechnicS. TechnicS still producing drones and still somehow alive after he looked to be absolutely finished. And now Scourge hitting Scourge, so that's the last of TechnicS' Scourge for the moment. That Ling is still surviving somehow. Going to go back in and have another pop at the Spire, but it's probably going to be taken out quite easily. A couple more Lings hatching out to deal with that. I mean, TechnicS' natural is now desolate. It is empty. No mining happening right there. And the Ling continuing to have a pop at the Spire and doing a decent job of it as well. And now coming into TechnicS' main, 2 more Scourge. Will there be Mutas hatching? No, there will not. There will be only Scourge hatching. Scourge landing on the Overlord in the main as well. And it looks like it's going to be Scourge for Scourge once again. And yeah, these players are just put in a pretty nasty position where they're both posturing and unable to do really anything.
Unfortunately, that 1 hero Zergling in the main was taken out, but he got to stay alive for quite a while since he does have speed, and Michael still doesn't have speed. He's just not going to get speed this entire game. Oh! Almost catching that Muta as it spawned, but saved by the Scourge there. I like also how Michael's leaving 2 Lings on the ramp to stop any more run-bys, although I don't quite know if that's Ling tie right there. But oh, 2 more Scourge coming in here. And this is such a good idea to just mass Scourge at this point in the game, because it's so difficult to micro low numbers of Mutas against Scourge. Like, if you only have 1 or 2 or 3 Mutas, it's so impossible. Meanwhile, oh, that 1 Ling doesn't get into the main base.
Yeah, a couple of Scourge bombed in there though, and we're able to take out a Muta for free, and another Muta goes down in the middle. So yeah, just as you said, TechnicS is able to make a much easier task of multitasking Scourge around than it is to multitask Mutalists around in low numbers against Scourge. And a few more coming in now might be able to take out the last of Michael's Mutalisks, and they are able to do that, and going to be able to go and camp the main now as well. Will they be able to take out this fresh Mutalist too? This is really crazy stuff from these guys, both trying to build up an infrastructure whilst kind of doing these weird contrasting strategies, and it's actually working out quite well for TechnicS when he looked to be in a somewhat rougher spot. And Michael now on the run with 1 single Mutalist, unable to do any micro to take down the Scourge. And it's just pretty much a waiting game for these guys to see who comes out best at the other end of this. Honestly,
I think this is a mistake by Michael to be making Mutas. I mean, this, you know, the only thing TechnicS can do now is to make Scourge and hope that Michael makes Mutas, and then this happens. And Michael's just basically playing into his hands right now. And it seems that he's realized this. He's actually switching into pure Scourge Ling production, which is absolutely what he needs to do. So now TechnicS going to be making Scourge, and it's not going to matter. You know, you just trade for Scourge, and Michael's economy has been stronger this whole time. Michael's going to have a lot more Lings. He's not getting speed. I think, okay, now he's finally starting speed. This is like 15 minutes into a ZVZ, and he's just now getting speed. It's kind of silly. In the meantime, whoa, I think two Scourge just blew up on one Scourge there, but the Link's going in here, and TechnicS sees this. What defense does he have in the natural? He's got no defense in the natural, nothing in the main base. He's going to have to make some Zerlings, but this is the thing. TechnicS was trying to be very efficient. He had a lower economy than Michael, so he tried to make only Scourge and then add on a few drones and a few Lings where he could. Just be very fancy with those, but, I think he's still in quite a bit of trouble. He's actually at 17 of 3 supply. Michael has actually just Scourged all of his Overlords.
Yeah, that's really no doubt what did it. I mean, he did that a little while back now, and TechnicS since then has been unable to actually make any more Overlords because he had no cash, unable to make anything else. Trying a little bit of a run by into the main. He gets 2 Lings in. That's not going to be enough to take out this Spire. Languishing though it is. Scourge landing on Scourge once again, but yeah, having to make Overlords at this point is really a pretty serious problem, especially when you pop 2 and then you've only got like 2 supply left to actually play with, and no natural now either, so TechnicS' position is going from bad to worse. And Michael just needs to play the waiting game now, just be patient, go Ling Scourge, and I don't see how this is going to end well for TechnicS.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically waiting for the GG here, and Michael going in with all his Lings. TechnicS is trying to run away. I think Michael actually does have Link speed now, and here we go. He's going in for the Sunken. The drones need to drill. They need to drill, but they're drilling on the wrong side. Oh no, the Sunken's going to get taken down here. He makes a couple of mutas at the last second, but the Sunken does go down. He's going to take some drone damage here that he really cannot afford. Looks like he just Scourges one of Michael's Overlords there, but I think Michael won't be the supply blocks anyway because he just lost all those Lings. Let's have a look-see. Yeah, Michael's still not quite supply blocks, making some mutas of his own. Looks like both players decided, hey, we can start making mutas again, and I mean, TechnicS is just so dead.
Yeah, he really is. He's going to have 3 mutas if he's lucky by the time the mutas of Michael get to him. I mean, the mutas of Michael don't look like they're too keen on being proactive, just hanging around the natural, keeping them on the move. But yeah, TechnicS is going to be making slow progress to anything with which he can contend with the force of Michael. And yeah, Michael just spamming around in his natural.
Yep, that is a good idea. Of course, you do generally want to keep your mutas in motion because they do have a bit of inertia, where if you just let them stop, then they take a little bit of time to accelerate to full speed again, and you can get hit by Scourge. So better to just keep them moving. There is no penalty for changing direction, as unrealistic as that may be. Anyway, looks like one random Link from TechnicS coming in here, and some mutas as well. I think this is probably going to be the last hurrah here, the all-in attack. The Ling leading the way, just going to check out what Michael has, and he realizes that he just has so few mutas in comparison, and here we go. Michael gonna just try and chase him down here. TechnicS just gonna split out his mutas, just going after that one sacrificial muta, and looks like he might, no, I thought he might have tried to intercept the rest of the pack before he went back, but just deciding to play it safe, just move back, make sure there's no counterattack going to his main base. Look at that, leaving the Scourge in his main, because it's possible he doesn't actually know where TechnicS mutas are right now. It's possible that they could have swung around the top and gone for a counterattack into the main, so he's leaving the Scourge to defend while his own mutas go for the counterattack. But looks like here we go. We're going to have a big engagement at TechnicS' base. Nice little micro there, taking down the Scourge. Just pure muta on pure muta. And I think that's going to be a GG.
Yeah, GG.
Michael taking it down. So Michael now 2-0 in the tiebreakers. If he wins the 3rd game against SneazeL, then he will be 5th place and take home $175. That's right, guys. For 5th place, you get $175, then $150, $175 for 8th place.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice payday if you get 5th place.
Yeah. Oh, we're meant to plug the link. There's a Reddit link being posted in our chat. Whether you like Reddit or not, it helps. It gets people seeing Brood War, and that makes me happy. It should make you happy as well. So please go and upvote. It'll take only a second. And will help us out immensely. Thank you very much.
Indeed, guys. Look, just do this. Just do this. Look, go here. Just click that link. It takes you here, and click the little up thing. Boom. Easy peasy. All right. Sweet. So let us go on to the 3rd and final game of today of the tiebreakers. Of course, the rest of the matches will be casted tomorrow by the lovely Hacklebeast and Bakuryu.
Yeah, but then we do have a semi-final coming up on this stream.
Of course, of course. So I am in game. And
I'm
it's
about to
be Project versus SneazeL, PvT. So we're getting all
somehow
sorts
got the
of
password
matchups.
wrong.
Sorry?
I somehow got the password wrong first time.
Oh, well,
I don't even.
It's not hard, man. It's not hard.
See, you say that,
rocket
but with
science.
my sausage fingers.
Alright, so let us go into the game. Project versus SneazeL.
Alright, it is time for a good little bit of PvT action. So spawning in the top left hand corner with a thoroughly unsuccessful SCV split, which is no doubt the result of playing too much SC2. And by too much I mean one game, of course. So yeah, the top left hand corner we see the orange Terran Mr. Project. In the bottom right hand corner spawning in as the blue Protoss, we have ISL3 SneazeL managing to spread his probes perfectly in a fan of beauty.
Interestingly though, if you look at the APMs, SneazeL has about 170 and Project's up at like 600.
You must have to buy so many keyboards.
Seriously. I just don't know though. I mean, if he didn't even split the SCVs properly, where was the APM going? Anyway. He must have just been clicking that command center really fast. Maybe,
yeah,
oh, I know, maybe he's actually playing Diablo 3 at the same time right now, so he actually just wasn't paying attention. So like he's just mass clicking with his Diablo 3 character, just killing demons, and then he's like, oh wait, I'm actually in a StarCraft game too, okay, let me go send my SCVs to mine.
Yeah, be right back, I gotta win some money over here.
In the meantime,
these two guys.
Looks like it's going to be a gateway in the main base for SneazeL. We are on Sniper Ridge, by the way. I believe we are, at least.
I'll just take a quick look. Yes, we are on Sniper Ridge. No doubt about it. That magnificent swastika that everyone loves so much.
Oh, yeah. And, oh, it looks like fish is going to go down. That's alright, that's alright. We are resilient to fish.
Anything.
Yeah. Everything.
We're pro.
And looks like a gas now for SneazeL. So cross-map PvT on Sniper Ridge, we could see a nice long game here. Note that this is the quote-unquote older version of Sniper Ridge, and by older I mean it's not like the most recent one that they updated for the new Hybrid Pro League. This is just the version that they were using last season.
You know, yeah, it's good to have the latest versions, but I often debate how much of a huge difference it makes at kind of levels that are below A+++ Olympic Ghostly rank. Like adding one extra mineral patch here or there, tweaking a little bit, it's gonna make some difference, but I don't know how huge it is for us.
No, I completely agree. At the amateur level, it's very different.
Yeah.
But and even then, I mean, you know, for all we know, the changes that they made could have made the maps like even more imbalanced. And we just don't know yet because they don't have enough games on them. Because like if you think about it, and the thing is like, you know, some people might say, oh, you know, even though they haven't played many televised games, they probably played a lot in practice. But I'm not even sure if that's true because, you know, they've been spending a lot of time practicing SC2. So the Brood War practice time is already limited, and then obviously you don't want to spend all that time just, you know, messing around with new maps anyway. So I doubt that they actually have a very big sample size of games on the new, you know, upgraded maps. But anyway, it looks like Factory's down. 2 guys on gas for Project. He likes to do this actually. Not pulling, you know, not leaving just one guy, not leaving all 3, but right in the middle there. Choosing the middle ground.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
I guess, no, I kind of like that because it still leaves your option open for throwing an extra one on if you fancy going for a 2-fac as soon as the pro boot is cleared out. But it doesn't give too much away. If everyone knows that you're going to be using 2 SCVs no matter what happens, then it gives nothing away. It just keeps things under wraps just a little bit longer. But standard stuff right now from SneazeL. Nobody cheesing, which is a bit weird in the best of 1, but you know, whatever. Respect to these guys for not doing so. Making up the Dragoon range, got his first Dragoon, chasing out Mr. SCV now as well. The SCV is going to be taken down eventually in a second gateway too, so SneazeL going to try and be a little bit aggressive here. Yeah,
and this is very interesting. I do personally like going for 2 gates in this matchup, although a lot of people think that it's not quite so optimal anymore. It used to be pretty standard, but nowadays generally 1 gate is fine, just with modern Dragoon control. Should be fine against most Terran builds. But you know what? Putting on a bit of extra pressure with those 2 gateways, I'm completely cool with this. Interestingly, this wall-in from Project, I mean, you know, wall-in in TVP also not so common nowadays anymore. And he's actually going for siege mode, so Project actually going for a siege expand. I mean, this is like, you know, we've gone, you know, 4 or 5 years in the past here. This is like old school PvT, or not old school, but like semi-old school. Because I know I have some dinosaurs in the chat, aka Game, who's going to tell me, oh no, back in my day, we only made like scouts, and it was Marine versus Scout. That was the real old school. But
he's the old man on the porch right now.
Yeah. No, it's 2Gate Goon versus Siege Expand. This is quite cool.
Yeah. I mean, he won't know it quite. I mean, did he see the second gateway go down? I'm not sure if he saw the second gateway happening, but now there's only one Dragoon over at his base, so I'm wondering if SneazeL's trying to keep this a little bit secret, sending goons kind of bit by bit, just kind of dripping them in there. The first Dragoon having a little bit of a poke, but of course unable to do too much. Range is done, so he kind of have a decent go, but not doing too much damage. And the factory is now, the command center, excuse me, is now down. Siege mode is finished, so he should be safe enough, barring any big siege tank snipes from that Dragoon count right there, but it looks like it's going to be a fairly decent wall in at the front, so he's SimCitying that quite hard in order to make sure that doesn't happen. And if it does happen, it's going to cost SneazeL a lot of Dragoons. And I'm just curious to see how SneazeL really makes this work. It looks like he's going to cut Dragoon production for the moment and go for a Nexus, so this is just going to be a bit of an unexpectedly high number of Dragoons. I mean, this is just going to be one extra Dragoon coming at Project, and then just going for the Nexus instead. Yeah,
and I think it's completely fine. It's very unlikely that he'll be able to do much against the Siege Expand. One interesting thing, by the way, is that Project can't make a comp set in his main anymore because he made the machine shop there for the factory.
Oh.
Like, when he made that initially, I assumed he would lift it off and relocate it just a few pixels away so he could build a comp set, but then he just made the machine shop there, so now he's like, huh. Well, at least he's going for an engineering bay and not like a super fast comsat build. In the meantime, we have +1 air weapons on the way. It looks like it's going to be carriers coming out from SneazeL, a 2-base carrier follow-up. I was actually going to guess that he would go for a fast double expand off of the 2-gate pressure, but he's actually just gone for a Stargate. This is crazy. I mean, I don't think this is a good idea. I do not think this is a good idea, because if you watch any of the Pro League matches last season, I'm pretty sure every single time a Protoss went 2-base carry on this map, he got crushed. And it was actually quite a few times as well. I think I saw like 3 or 4 2-base carriers on this map, and not a single one won their game.
But that must mean that it's good in practice. That must mean that on some level this build functions on this map, because if it didn't work in practice, then why would they do it in the game? But nonetheless, SneazeL is going to proceed, and we can see if it is ever likely to work right here. You're about to possibly witness a little bit of history, and he's about to make the fleet beacon as well. So it's kind of a good thing for him that Project has delayed scan by quite a lot. Because he could have very easily gone for a much earlier scan build off the back of this expansion, and it would have been quite expected as well. But the fleet beacon is up, and it's going to be a while before scan is actually available to Project. So this is working out quite nicely for SneazeL, and that could be his first break. And remember when I said nobody was cheesing? Just throw that out, get rid of that, because of course this pretty much counts as cheesing.
Whoa, 2-base carry, man, it's legit. It's legit. All right, go talk to Stork. Go talk to Stork. All right, he'll tell you it's legit. Interestingly, also, by the way, I like how SneazeL took his second gas immediately, like before the Nexus was even finished. So as soon as his Nexus finished, his gas was also finished. Because obviously you're going to need a lot of gas going for 2-base carrier. And yeah, as you said before, I mean, this lack of comsat's really going to hurt him. I actually missed where the first scan went off, but it's
went
unlikely.
Directly on the Nexus.
Right on the Nexus. Okay, so you see, I mean, that's a likely place, right? You just scan the Nexus, and although does that mean he saw the Cybernetics core spinning though? Because if he sees his core spinning, he should suspect what's going on here.
Yeah, he did see the core spinning. He definitely saw it, and he also saw a probe heading up to the top of the base. So he should kind of be a little bit clued up from just what he's seen right there. And I'm going to keep a close eye on where the next scan goes.
Oh man, I have an awesome point to make though. I have an excellent. Okay, so
yeah,
the one thing about the spinning core though is that last season I actually wrote an article on this for Team Liquid in one of their PL write-ups. In last season, in Lita versus frick, I can't remember who the Protoss was, but in Lita versus some Protoss on Jade, it was the exact same situation, but I think it was Stats. Stats did a fake +1 so that when Lita scanned his main, he saw the core spinning and he assumed it was carriers, but instead it was like Mass High Templar and Gateway Tech. And there's like no carriers anywhere. He just randomly got +1 air weapons to fake him out. And Lita he saw it and he immediately moved out, even though he wasn't max, he didn't have his upgrades, because he's like, oh, I better kill him before I get carriers, and then he died. He died! But anyway, yeah, it looks like Project gonna move out correctly here because it is in fact a carrier switch, and he's gonna crush these goons.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he's taking a lot of damage to his tanks, and another tank's gonna go down right here, so he's actually gonna lose most of his force. And more Dragoons coming in. This could actually work for SneazeL. Off a 2-base carrier build, he could be able to stop mid-game pressure with Dragoons. I'm not quite sure how or why, because this shouldn't really be the case, but he is able to stop it. All the tanks go down. So whether that was as a direct result of carelessness from Project, or if it was just SneazeL being super go-to, I'm not quite sure. A little bit of a mind drag to clear things up as well, because of course he has no observers, and that should be Project's second clue if he has not already scanned the carriers, which I imagine he probably has by now, but just looking at his tech, maybe not.
There's no armory.
It doesn't look like he's... Yeah, no armory, no upgrades, no Goliath, no nothing. I mean, maybe he's still in the dark about this.
I'm
He must be.
fairly certain he is. He has no armory. Like there's, I think there's no armory. He's dead. Like how can he actually win now? He can't even win. And no, you're completely right. I don't understand why that ground push didn't actually work. I guess maybe because of that initial 2-gate opening, SneazeL just had a few more Dragoons than you might usually have at this stage. But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess SneazeL also kind of engaged on the high ground there as well. Project wasn't in the best position, but either way, and this is going to be very interesting because Project, having been stopped there with that initial attack, now he's going to be even less likely to suspect carriers. Because if your opponent's going, like, if you do a push like that and you get crushed by Dragoons, like, why would you ever think he's going carriers? Because if he's going carriers, he should not stop that at all, right? So now there's no way Project's going to be suspicious. He's going to be like, oh, okay, it's a normal standard gateway stuff, you know. My initial push got shut down, that's pretty bad for me, but I can still play it from here. And then there's going to be like 5 carriers that come out, and he's going to just be like, oh.
Yeah, it's going to be brutal for him, and just as soon as he notices, I mean, he's doing a little bit of the runaround with the vultures. Will they have any path into the main? They might, just if they go over for harass. But it just gets later and later, and the carrier force is getting bigger and bigger. There's 3 carriers already out. They're going to be fully intercepted up. I don't know if I can say that, but I will try anyway. Another carrier on the way now too. The vultures looking like they're kind of threatening to head onto the main. If they did, that would be good for Project, but they're not going to. Heading on down to the bottom left-hand corner again. He's doing a decent enough job of mining up. And the fact that there's no observers means that this is actually a little bit difficult for SneazeL to deal with, but he doesn't really need to be too much of a ground presence because he has carriers.
Yeah, I mean, Vulture's moving out all over the place. I'm a little bit surprised about this choice of expansion by SneazeL. Curious why it's not the 6 o'clock, but, you know. Alright, meanwhile, looks like +2 air weapons just started now. Rowboat finally being started. This is like super duper late observers, even by like 2 base carrier standards. You know, I think you would get that rowboat before the Citadel at least. I don't even know if he got leg speed.
He's spending all his gas.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going somewhere. He's got the +2 air weapons upgrade on the way, so that's costing him a bit. He does have leg speed as well, so that's costing him a little bit. This gas just sort of trickles away, especially since he's producing carriers as fast as he can.
In the meantime, a couple of Dragoons going to get randomly picked off in the middle of the map. There's a couple more Dragoons here at the north side. Not sure what's going on here. Sorry, I'm a little bit distracted by the stream chat because game's QQing about Terran, or not really QQing.
Oh.
I just, man, I was so tempted to start. I was about to like start typing some witty comments in the chat, and then you just like threw it to me. I was like, whoa! I suddenly remembered that I was actually commentating on a stream. I had completely forgotten. I was like so excited to start trolling the chat.
Oh, you love to do that. When you come into my chat, I just, you know, my heart kind of rises and sinks at the same time. It's a weird state of emotion. But yeah, Project doing a little bit of a push right now, and these mines are just going to be so difficult for SneazeL to deal with. I mean, he has carries, he doesn't have a huge number. If Project knew what was going on, I think he would definitely be looking quite good to deal with this. I mean, he's stuck on 2 base for a while, so these pushes are kind of coming quite thick and fast. The carriers are now revealed, and immediately he's going to unsiege all his tanks, and he's going to run straight home, even after getting so far. How many tanks will he lose on the way back? He could stand to lose them all. He has nothing to delay these carriers with. All these tanks are going down super quickly right here. Looking around for Observer Tech. Okay, Observer Tech is now ready and waiting. He still doesn't have an Observer in the making, but that's all in good time. And the carrier is now heading on towards 12 o'clock, which is of course the Terran's very, very vulnerable third. He's getting 2 missile turrets, not so much going to be enough, but the carriers are actually pulling back in a little bit of a weird choice. I think he feels the need to defend a little bit, but he should be alright just using the Zealot's Mind Drag. Nonetheless, playing a little bit safe, and yeah, the carriers are heading back on towards the Terran's natural a little bit more, so maybe they have grander things in their sights than the 12 o'clock.
Oh man, Project has been spamming his Goliaths, but he only has 5 out right now. He's pumping them from 5 factories, but there are 5 carriers here to deal with. They do have their +1 finished already. +2 is also well on its way. The 12 o'clock is going to be in serious trouble here. It looks like he's changed his mind. He is going to go back to this 12 o'clock. And I thought his ground forces like would do a lot more damage. He had a ton of vultures there, but looks like it was stopped by the Dragoon Zeal force. And this base is definitely going to go down here. Look at that, carrier's taking it out so quickly. For a second there, I thought Project might try and do the boxer trick and like land his command center and crush the interceptors. But then I was like, oh, it doesn't work anymore. It got fixed. That awesome bug got fixed. For anyone who doesn't know, in a previous version of Brood War, if you had like carriers attacking a command center like that, if you landed the command center, it would actually destroy the interceptors that were like directly under the command center or something. It was quite a cool bug. Boxer famously did it in like a Pimpus play. But
yeah.
Anyway, by the
It's
way,
amazing.
SneazeL's had
I
2
love
guys
those.
on his natural gas for like forever.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, oh dear, yeah. Wow, that's a really pretty major issue. That could explain the horribly late obs. I mean, that could really have something to do with it. Because just imagine how much extra gas. Oh, did he take a mine hit right there? I think he did take a mine hit. And Project's actually building up a fairly good force of Goliaths right now, so he might be able to stabilize. He does have the Charon Booster upgrade as well now. Able to see off those carriers quite easily, and he might actually be able to take one carrier down. He's been able to take down a lot of interceptors, but right now SneazeL looks like he's going to go for the big push. I think he may just have enough. There are only 2 siege tanks holding the position. All the cash has gone directly into Goliaths, and the carriers are making decent work of this as well. And a few mine drags probably not going to be enough to do the trick, and SneazeL is forced back, but of course Project on no third base is left in a pretty dodgy position, fighting against 3 bases. It's really an uphill struggle for him. But managing to hold his ground for now, and he might be able to push back out to his third base if he's smart about it.
Yeah, that's a little bit crazy. I mean, there were only 2 siege tanks in the back. It was otherwise entirely Goliaths and Zealots. I thought that attack would work for sure, but apparently not. And oh my god, he's just running into mines!
Oh.
Stop it!
Oh.
Oh god, but I mean...
Oh. Oh, damn.
But-
SneazeL, that's the last thing you want to be doing right now. You're in a good position. Do not be throwing away Dragoons. There are so many Goliaths moving out. He will wish he had those spare Dragoons right now. They might be able to surprise the carriers, almost managing to snipe out one carrier straight away, but they are now going to be pulling back. There's still so few tanks in here to defend, and this could continue to be dangerous for Project until he gets a decent number of tanks out. The Splash Man, he take down 1 or 2 Goliaths, and now taking back a very defensive position. There could be a big mine drag in the middle of those Goliaths, but just burrowing down in time again. And I think that this is going to be enough for Project. He should be able to hold. The Dragoons are going to start going down very quickly here, sniping out the Observer as well, so the mines are now going to be a serious threat, getting all the Observers down, so those mines are now impossible to deal with. There's still too many Goliaths in there. SneazeL, you need to pull back. This is not enough. 1 remaining mine as well, taking care of a few Dragoons, and honestly Project could push out right now with just the Goliaths and probably take these Dragoons down quite easily, and maybe chase down the carriers a little bit as well, but he has managed to take down 1 or 2 of those carriers. The production continues though for SneazeL, so not relying on the elements of Surprise Age, continuing to beef up his carrier force, continuing with the air upgrades as well, so he's got, let's see, 2 air weapons, and he's going to have air armor soon as well, so there's going to be some hefty carriers. He probably needs to look towards a 4th base at this point though, and he's still without observers with his Dragoons. This could really bite him pretty badly if he heads on over to the left.
Project meanwhile going for a Goliath drop here over to SneazeL's 3rd, and that's very interesting that he's actually getting +1 air armor instead of +3 air weapons. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me. Carrier's going to benefit so much more from the +3 attack than they are from the +1 armor. I mean, carriers already have base 4 armor. The +1's not going to give them too much, especially considering how much bonus damage Goliaths get from their +1 weapons. Whereas for the interceptors, each interceptor doesn't do that much damage individually, so when they get +1, it actually does quite a bit. But hold that thought, there is a drop here now at the 3 o'clock. The Goliaths actually taking down quite a few probes here. This is so funny. Instead of doing a standard Vulture drop, he's doing a Goliath drop because that's just all he has, mass Goliaths. And Goliaths are pretty damn good. Like, these 4 Goliaths can actually easily take down that 1 Dragoon, whereas 4 Vultures might have a bit more difficulty. But looks like it's just going to be a counterattack for SneazeL. I don't know why SneazeL's being so aggressive here. I mean, he's got the 3 bases against Projects too. He doesn't need to attack, but he's going for it anyway. He's taking down the siege tanks. Is it going to be enough? A lot of Dragoons and carriers remaining. Almost no Goliaths remaining. Even if all the Dragoons go down to the siege tanks, if these carriers all survive, it might be too much for Project to handle here. He's trying to do some fancy micro, but he's just killing these interceptors. There's a few turrets helping him out. Is it going to be enough? All the Dragoons are dead, but all the carriers are alive. There's only 5 Goliaths, 6 Goliaths remaining. Project going to be pumping from all of his factories. He's building double command centers in his main base. Realizes he needs some extra income here. His main base is almost mined out. His natural is getting extremely thin, but will he be able to move out and expand? I don't know if he can actually even leave his base because SneazeL's being so ridiculously aggressive. But the probes in the 3rd, though, are just fighting these Dragoons. What on earth? The 1 Dragoon... or sorry, fighting the Goliaths rather. That 1 Goliath has 8 kills, but Project, I don't know if he can just hold his natural here. The carriers and Dragoons are moving in. Project, can he hold?
He's right on the edge of defeat right now. The Goliaths are down to an absolute skeleton crew, but a fresh round popping out of the factories might just give him the edge he needs, and the carriers are going to be pushed back. And after taking a lot of economic damage, SneazeL, once again, not in quite the great position he could be. Having said that, Project's economy is not looking so good either. He has decent SCV count, but so few minerals with actually to mine. He needs another command center right away. Of course, being pretty much brutally distracted from quite an early point right here. One siege tank for some reason down at the bottom left-hand corner, sniping out a Dragoon as it makes its way over there. And yeah, Project needs a third base right now. He has got the Goliath count to push out.
Drop and the
another drop.
The one vulture drop. The deadliest drop known to man.
Yeah,
Run!
that's gonna last too long.
I thought he would pick it up again. But yeah, why is the siege tank here? When did this actually get here? This bottom left siege tank? That's so random. That is the most random siege tank. What? Why? I don't know. Anyway, Project now trying to move out. He's going to try and secure the 9 o'clock base. He is literally mined out now. He's got 28 minerals left to mine, and he'll be completely mined out.
Yeah.
Alright, 20. 12. 8. Oh, we might see an SCV party here. SCV party!
Let's have it. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, this is an awesome one, too. Look at that. Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, yeah. I love a good party. As long as there's SCVs involved. The transferring out to that left-hand side base just in time as well. Just as he completely runs out of money, he gets some more. And the future goons laying down their lives on the mines on the left-hand side, just as I thought they might. And off the carriers go now in conjunction with a small Protoss army to head back to 12 o'clock. But I think Project actually has enough of an army to deal with this. Did he just throw down a scan on the Protoss units? I think he did, in which case he should be pushing out with his Goliaths and trying to take care of the carriers. I'm not sure if he's quite aware of how small a force SneazeL actually has. The carriers could be able to take down the command center here really very quickly. Will they go with the SCVs or will they go for the CC? They will go straight for the CC. Project needs to get repairing that right now and needs to bring his force up in support, but it's not going to be enough no matter how much he does now. The CC is taken down, so looking pretty light on cash. He needs to just get out there and try and deal with this carrier force while he still has the opportunity. And he's going to be distance mining. Oh no, he does have another CC. Where's he getting all these command centers from?
Dude, he's just double CC'd in his main, remember? He's a baller.
Oh. Yeah,
you can't stop it. His CCs are like, you know, like the Hydra heads. You chop one off and there's 2 more coming out, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Meanwhile, SneazeL also is retaking the 6 o'clock. There's one dropship with that random siege tank from the bottom left here. We're trying to do some damage. If he actually sieges up and hits the stack probes, that'd be sick. But it looks like he missed his chance there. Meanwhile, one cannon going down. It's like Project actually might have just forgotten about that. But that is just so many carriers. I think this is a critical mass of carriers here. I don't know if you can actually win against this anymore. That is a lot of Goliaths, though. But it looks like the carriers are actually moving into the main base, and the Goliaths going to be completely out of position. The Goliaths are actually moving out. We might even see a base trade type situation here. I don't think Project can actually get his Goliaths back in time. No, he's actually just going to go for it here. And you know, Goliaths, they're actually pretty good even against gateway units. They got a lot of HP, they got a decent range, but they got to be very careful about the Psy Storms from the High Templar. Dragoon Templar Carrier is a pretty beefy composition.
Yeah, I mean, the carriers do run the risk of getting caught without any support right here on the left-hand side, but they can just hop over that cliff. 12 o'clock base still survives, so Project needs to not spread himself too far, because that force could quite easily take care of the 12 o'clock pretty quickly, and pretty much his entire stock of SCVs as well, which he's been building up from quite an early point, and that's why he has so many of them mining up there, despite losing so many already. And now it looks like the Protoss force is actually going to start joining together and might make a little bit of a concerted assault. The carriers are heading over to the middle of the map as well. I don't know if Project has the forces to deal with this. Only 2 siege tanks run the risk of getting taken apart pretty heavily by this ground army as well, and 2 High Templar pretty full of stuff. Going to do some serious damage to the Goliaths too. And yeah, it's going to be the moment of truth for Project.
He needs about 10 more energy on those to get 2 storms. I think he should absolutely wait for those. So they will be crucial in this engagement. Meanwhile, Project's mech army is kind of getting a little bit confused here on the cliff. Oh, looks like we're going to have a bit of engagement. I don't like this. He's just going to waste interceptors here. Although it looks like he's just deciding to go for it with his ground army as well. Might as well. There's only 2 siege tanks in the back, but so many Goliaths. Where are the storms? Where are the storms? There's a great storm. Another great storm on the Goliaths doing so much damage. This could be it for Project. Just way too much Protoss stuff. GG. Yeah. And SneazeL takes out Project in a pretty cool PBT there, pretty random game. Yeah.
And yeah, SneazeL proving that it can work. 2 base carriers can work on that map, contrary to what we've seen.
And it looks like we have to reconnect to fish. That's alright. Oh. Alright, there we go. So, coming up next is going to be the first semi-final match, a PvP between Dodie and Semi. Busy versus Iki, or sorry, not Busy.